Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello everyone and welcome to our show. Today we discuss about selling online businesses or buying online businesses. It depends of your goals. And I know it's hard to get results for a new website, new register website. That's why I decided to discuss this topic with Mark Daoust. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, nice day, Friday. On Friday we always have good feeling. For example, I have this feeling from my school. It's my 11th day. And before we start, just tell more about yourself, your background, experience, and why you decided to pay a lot of attention with that.
Sure. So again, my name is Mark Daoust. I founded Quiet Light Brokerage. We're an M&A firm for online businesses. So in other words, we help we work on the sell side and help entrepreneurs who have started successful online businesses, and maybe they're looking to take that next step, do something different. They want to sell that business. So we really help them on the sell side, but obviously we work on both sides of the transaction at the end of the day. So we also work with entrepreneurs who are looking to maybe make an acquisition and level up their game there. So that's a very quick overview.
Okay, got it. Okay, let's talk about finding the right website for a business. For example, I love jump with new projects. Sometimes I fail, not sometimes, many times I fail with some internet journey, but I usually get high results, performance with other projects. So I love this game. Can you tell how to find the right website today and unite with your goals, check out metrics, just more about technical aspect, how to do it?
Right. So you want to find like how to find the right websites to buy and what sort of metrics you should be looking at?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And talking about buying websites it's a big topic, right? Because there's a lot of different websites out there. The very first online business I started was supposed to be an SEO play. It was supposed to be all about the SEO. Now this was a long time ago. I don't want to make myself sound too old, or start saying like back in my day. But it was supposed to be an SEO play, and then about 3 months in, Google put me in the sandbox, and I couldn't get out of it. They penalized the site, but I ended up making that business work because it was I leveraged email lists to be able to do it. Bring this up to say you first have to identify what are you even looking to buy, right? If you're looking for something with a good SEO play, that where you can really leverage the strengths of good practices there, or maybe grow it. You need to look for something that's relatively weak in that area, but has the fertile ground to be able to grow a good SEO, a good SEO with it. So maybe it has content already, but it's just not optimized on the page, or maybe it just needs a better backlink profile. And so you want to look at those sort of metrics. Obviously, you want to be careful with anything you're buying. Make sure that you're looking at the quality of how it's gotten to where it is. And this is true whether or not you're buying a website that is supported through social media or email or something else, or SEO, especially SEO. Is that clean backlink profile, and are you going to be getting penalized after you buy the site, or having that yanked because you lose all your backlinks right away, which can happen. So the answer is it depends a little bit on what you're buying, but I'm a big believer if you're looking to buy and kind of leverage up or accelerate that curve. I know, Anatoly, we were talking a little bit offline about you can accelerate that curve from just starting and buying instead. I'm a big believer in know your strengths and buy something that's weak for what you have the strengths in. If that's building links, great. Then you buy something with a weaker backlink profile. If it's on-page optimization, you look for that.
Yeah, love it. I remember when Neil Patel bought Uber Suggest for $120,000, and we can see today that this tool overcame all other traffic on his website. He mentioned about this like 7 times or 10 times, a lot. Yeah, and he shared story that Uber Suggest couldn't monetize their traffic, their positions, and he invested a lot of money, if I remember correctly, like $3 million a year, to improve and develop this tool to get the tool that we have today. Can you tell how to find websites that have traffic, have loyal audience, but owners or webmasters are not willing to continue this way because they don't know how to monetize, and to find this opportunity that it's possible, to monetize and jump on this field?
I wish I could say there was a magic bullet to it where we could just figure out like this is the method that you follow every single time, but it's really a case by case basis. Let me give you a couple of examples. We worked with a financial website. It provided advice for personal finance. Very, very popular, very high traffic website, and the owner wasn't all that interested. I mean, he was interested in making money, but he was more interested in having a big audience and following that audience. And so his monetization strategy was to throw a few AdSense ads on the website.
Mhm.
And so when we put that up, buyers were tripping over themselves to buy that, because you look at that and you say, oh, there's so much that we can do with this. So that's the pretty obvious ones. The not so obvious ones would be maybe looking at non-ad supported monetization, right? Can you productize this business or provide a membership area or some sort of membership group to be able to bolt onto this, because those can become very profitable and be very, very good monetization sources. The other thing to look at would be expansion opportunities, right? So if you have somebody who is in the equestrian and horse space, is there an area where they've been blind as far as building out content, which would be a pretty easy bolt on there to be able to grow and scale that up. There's not a single recipe to follow, and that's frankly that's where it becomes fun. You have to use your creativity to look at these and see the opportunities. You have to be careful though too, right? You don't want to be the person that comes in and say, I can fix that. You have to really have a sober, clean look at it to figure out, like, is this something that I can actually fix, or am I just being really overly optimistic? I can speak as somebody who's bought and been that overly optimistic and made some mistakes. It's easy to do. Yeah, there's not necessarily one recipe there. It really depends on what you're looking at.
Yeah, I agree with that. I remember when that was like 7 years ago, I decided to open a new business. That was new project, and I chased money. I didn't care about anything else. I spent wasted 3 years of a lot of resources and couldn't get results. I left this project, and I think. I remember Neil Patel shares the same story when he jumped to online poker. He bought a website with good ranking positions, but he didn't know anything about poker, because he didn't play. And then Google just ranked his website. He couldn't monetize and left this project. So if you choose any website, you need to understand the main topic. You need to understand how to monetize, to find their gaps. I don't know, like to submit call to actions. Can you tell about adding call to actions in websites if you bought a new one that was owners left, and how to submit this call to actions if you have traffic, to analyze it, or I don't know, possible simplify content? What do you think?
Could you repeat the question? I'm not sure if I understand.
It's more about, for example, if we have a website with traffic, how to add call to actions to start selling from the first day, when you have a website with traffic. Yeah.
So if you have a site with traffic, how can you start monetizing that
Yeah.
from day one? And again, it depends a little bit on the niche. Years ago, I started a forum, kind of like a discussion forum for people that brew their own beer, right? And I thought this would be so good to monetize. Turns out it was extraordinarily difficult to monetize. Because the industry itself was not really, this was years ago, it wasn't set up to work online yet. They were very much stuck in sort of a 1990s sort of business mentality. And so when I would approach people about wanting to sell through the website, they were thinking, well, no, this is all out. We don't want to do that. So you need a market that's actually willing to do that. In addition to that, some niches don't monetize very well. Celebrity gossip. I've seen some celebrity gossip websites come through, and when you look at the traffic, it'll blow your hair back. It really, like, the traffic is through the roof, but the amount that you can monetize that is very, very little, right? People don't click. I mean, they click on ads, but the ads are low intent or low value. It's kind of, excuse me, if you use transient traffic there. So, all right, you're buying a website, it already has traffic to it. So the first question you have to look at is, what is this industry? And what are you, what are you buying? If it's in the finance industry, there's a lot of avenues that you can go with that, depending on the work that you want to do, right? In the finance industry, you can move over to selling credit card offers. You can look into selling access to various stock accounts, brokerage accounts, and those can pay extremely well. You can also do membership programs there. You can sell info products, and you can do that with a lot of different verticals. Other verticals, I'll give you an example of one that I saw. It was all about space and stargazing, looking at the stars and what's going to be in the sky tonight. And this is a community that had a lot of traffic, and people were using it. So somebody wanted to buy this. How can they monetize it? Well, they started to sell starter kit telescopes through that website, right? And then along with that, bundled it with other products. Really cool little idea, and very easy to monetize there for that. So it depends again on the niche and the vertical that you're in.
Yeah, I think it depends. By the way, I think paid ads is the way more for lazy webmasters, because many other ways like affiliate programs, I don't know, to selling your products, but paid ads, yeah, why not? You can set up them as well as additional channel. I want to share a story. I had a client who bought websites in weight loss niche. And once he bought a new website, spent like 100K for this website with good traffic. And after 15 days, 80% of links disappeared, traffic disappeared. How to avoid such things? When you check out website, good content, good links, everything is fine. But after buying, I don't know what's going on, but backlinks that made this authority disappeared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is why I said earlier, if you're buying something based off its backlink profile, you need to make sure that backlink profile is healthy and will continue after. Who owns those backlinks? How did they obtain those links? Any business that you buy, it doesn't matter what you buy. There's a few things you should always be looking for. How do they acquire their customers? Now, if you're thinking just a content website, like in the weight loss space, we don't think about somebody coming to the website who doesn't buy anything as a customer, but they are, right? They're eyeballs on your website, so they are a customer. And so the first question is, how is this current owner? How are they getting people to the site? How are they doing that? Is it through SEO? Okay, great. How do they build up that SEO profile? And don't just go over to Ahrefs or a tool like that and look at the DA. You need to look back at the backlink profile and poke around on those websites and find out, how did they acquire some of these links? The danger, especially if you're buying something that's not monetized yet, the danger is that somebody built it to rank quickly so that they could do exactly what happened there. A couple things you can do outside of that, if you don't mind, I'd love to just explore this. A couple things that you can do outside of just regular SEO work and SEO sleuthing, where you sit down and figure out, is this a healthy website? Take a look at how the website's been run so far. How old is the website, right? If the website is a year old, you should be suspicious. Just that should be your baseline. Be suspicious if it's a year old or younger. If it's 6, 7, 8 years old, now you have an owner who's been with this business for a little bit, and chances are very, very good that backlink profile was built in a way that's going to be sustainable. So take a look at the history of that and try and find things that are a little bit older And if you can find something that's not monetized, that's great. Look for the people that built up businesses because they love the content that they're building out. The second thing I would look at is, has this owner tried to monetize this content? And this is a big question. Is sometimes we see these things and we think, oh, there's no monetization on here, I'm going to make a killing. But what you don't know is the previous owner already tried,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the ideas you have, they've tried and they didn't make it work. So you need to ask those questions and really dig deep, and use tools like the Wayback Machine to look at
Mm-hmm.
what they've done in the past to see, were they doing this before, and then again ask those questions. So if I could
Mm-hmm.
summarize that, be very worried about buying young. You have to do a lot of extra work if you're going to be buying a young site, and then don't trust that you can monetize something that somebody else may have already tried to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, agree with that. Love it. Thomas wanna know about how about monetizing old school door to door. Can you reply to this question?
Monetizing old school door to door. I think the benefit of being in an online world is that we can access audiences of thousands, and hundreds of thousands and millions. You can certainly monetize old school door to door, but the number of businesses where I see that work are pretty limited.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you where I have seen it work, and that would be local guide directories. I love these businesses. They're very, very old school. I've been in the online world since 1996, so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little old school with this. But these old school local guides. So you go to a small town, and somebody sets up a website. You can definitely monetize those door to door by going to local businesses, and they're nice little comfortable businesses. That's the only one that comes to mind where I'd say door to door still works.
Mhm. Yeah, we have another question. Do web directories still have value in 2022? What do you think about that?
Yeah, good question. But we've sold so many web directories over the years, and you're right. These have lost value over the years,
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit. But there's a new school type of directory that does work, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's extremely specialized, and it's no longer just a listing of websites, but more of a guide on things. The other one that I would look at would be reviews. So websites that offer reviews of specific types of businesses, either be software or something else, where it's a lot more dynamic. Back in the day, the old Best of the Web, which I got to sell Best of the Web at a certain point. I love
Mm-hmm.
that business. Ancient website. That model doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all that valuable. But what is valuable is when we start adding a little bit of dynamic nature to that. Reviews, stars, ratings, feedback. These are the new version of directories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. By the way, if you wanna check out some directories, just check out their traffic. If they have loyal audience, yeah, we have a bunch of directories. They have 1 million traffic. Why not? Try them if you can get traffic from them.
Yeah, and
Uh,
from an SEO standpoint, there's still value.
yeah.
When I talk about this, I'm looking at it from what would be the value of this website to buy, and I can tell you, it's harder to sell web directories today than it was 10 years ago. I sold a lot 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I have the question about competing with others. For example, if someone wanna buy a new website, and I know that my big companies jump on this field, they are scanning online, check out websites, and buying. I don't know, the best websites with good metrics, and many of them are creating PBN networks with the goal to create backlinks for Black Hat SEO. What do you think? How to compete with them? Because they have huge resources. They know where to buy, how to do it. They have special tools, and they know that some networks have. It's like more than 30,000 websites in one network. It's a lot. Yeah. What do you think about that?
well, I mean, I certainly wouldn't, if you're going up against somebody who's much bigger than you, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
try to go head to head.
Mm-hmm.
That's a recipe for losing a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
pretty quickly. The benefit, though, when you're competing against a larger company is that larger companies have blind spots. It's impossible for them
Mm-hmm.
not to. And so if you can find the blind spots, there's going to be room to operate and succeed. And if you find enough of those blind spots, you might be able to leverage up where you can become real competition and start going head to head with them. That said, be careful in this space, right? If there is somebody in there who's just enormous and extremely strong in that space, you need to be cautious of that, and know what you're getting into. So the only way, again, that I would do it is if you saw a real blind spot in there. I'll give an example with this from the e-commerce industry. Obviously, Amazon is the giant, right? Everybody knows Amazon's the giant, but Amazon lacks innovation with new products. They're not interested in doing that. And that's where their ecosystem, the FBA marketplace, thrives, is, these hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs who are coming up with really unique ideas and building unique products that Amazon would never be able to come up with on their own. In the content world, you can certainly do some of the same stuff there, where you see somebody who's a giant in there. Maybe instead of going head to head with them, you find the underserved portion of their market, and that's where you get your footing. So it can be done, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, got it. I can't avoid one question, because I can see on your background some books. Can you tell which books do you like to read, and which value you can get from these books?
Yeah. Oh, the books behind me. Are you seeing the books behind me?
Yeah,
Oh goodness.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
I've got a few books in there. Okay, so a couple books. Here, I'll hold one up. All right. This one is called Buy Then Build by Walker Diable. If you haven't read this book yet, it's an extremely good book on acquisition entrepreneurship. It's not specifically for the online world. Now, Walker, he works with my company. Walker has done several acquisitions himself. He knows a lot about this space. Buy Then Build is an excellent book. On the flip side, I'd highly recommend The Exitpreneur's Playbook. That was written about how to sell a business and how to prepare a business for sale. It can be very useful from a buy side as well. There's a lot of lessons in there. I think those two books, if you read those two books, you will know just as much as I do or anybody else in this space on how to buy and sell online businesses.
Yeah, got it. Love it. Okay, let's talk about creating business for the sake of selling business. Is it a good idea? Because I got the message a few times that if you are trying to create something for selling, it's hard to be succeed on that, because you think more about money. But I know some businesses can do it. For example, they create businesses and sell them, and they know how to do it. Can you tell how to pay more attention with creating high quality product that others wanna buy, how to find a team, and just more technical aspect about that?
Yeah, no. So if I will say this, I 100% believe that we should all build our businesses so that they could be sold someday. Now, what you're saying about being careful with this, because you don't want to just build your business thinking about how can I exit as fast as I can,
Yeah.
because then maybe you aren't building as good a quality of product. What I would say is this to that. If that's what you think makes a sellable business, then you need to go out and read Exitpreneur and understand what actually makes a sellable business. People who buy businesses, and I'm not talking about for $50,000 or $100,000. I'm talking for 500,000, 1 million, 10 million, 25 million, 100 million. They want something that is quality and will last and can grow. The businesses that are really valuable to sell are businesses that are great for you to own. And so here's the lesson from this that I think I would love people to just take away from this. If you start understanding what makes your business or a business valuable to sell, it's going to be a phenomenal business for you to own as well. And so I do believe that people should understand what makes the business valuable. We often think about our business as just this thing that might generate cash for us, but there is value in the business itself. And so what you're talking about, let's talk about a business that doesn't make any money, or is not profitable for the first 5 years, because the owner is building the product. They're building something that is really, really good. We see this in the SaaS world sometimes. Somebody who's building a SaaS business, and they're trying to build something that's an awesome software product for people, and so they keep losing money on it because they're trying to figure that out. And they're putting all this money into development. That's great from a value building standpoint. There will come a time when you have a product that is wonderful and everybody loves it, and it will be a very profitable business and it's sustainable. So I'm not afraid of that, but there is a point where you need to look and say, can I actually make money on this? Do I have a brand that can grow and be built? So the difference I would make for you is don't build a business with the idea of selling it quickly in the short term necessarily, but more of build a business that will stand the test of time and will be valuable for a long time for you, and then you're going to have something that you could sell someday as well.
Yeah, got it. I want to share another story. I have a friend, and he has a business in Ukraine, and we know the story today that Russian army attacked Ukraine, and the business value was around $90 million. Right now, the factory is in Kharkiv. It's like close to Russian border, and every day many missiles hit to this city. Very hard to continue developing and innovating this business. And that's interesting. He created business about charging battery for electric cars. He created his factory, big factory, but right now he can't continue this business because of circumstances, and he's going to jump to the US market. Right now he's in the US, and he has interesting idea, he has technology, he has everything, but he couldn't find investors. Can you tell how to help him, to find good investors? Because he has technology, he has a team, many of them in Ukraine, but he has a team, but he wanna take this, when he came to the US, he checked out existing products, and he found many gaps, flaws, and he has a lot better products, but he can't find investors because investors want to check out what kind of money you have today, what kind of results. And he sold like he got revenue $300 million a year, but right now it almost nothing. Can you provide some tips about that?
Well, I wish I could give him an easy solution. That's very difficult, obviously, and it's I feel like all of us entrepreneurs, we love building our businesses, and we kind of disappear into the world of our businesses, and then real life once in a while comes knocking, and that's what's happening to him. As far as finding investors in general, the work of finding investors is done. In many ways, I don't think it's very sexy. It's a lot of conversations, it's a lot of networking, and it's a lot of reaching out to individuals and having one-by-one conversations. Obviously, there's groups that you can go to, angel investing groups, and then going to mastermind groups, and any sort of networking with like-minded individuals is a good starting point. But as with anything that is for greatness, it's achieved in the boring day-to-day conversations that occurs. I think you putting this out here, just to your broadcast, is probably a great help. I would personally be happy to take his information offline here once we're done, and I can see if I have somebody in my network that might be interested in being able to do something there. But you're asking how does this work? That's exactly how this works. It's hundreds of conversations, which hopefully branch out to those individuals having additional conversations, and then you find somebody who's got that right profile and that right fit.
Okay, yeah, I can send you a presentation. He has a presentation, and right now he's looking for investors who can believe on this idea, because he has these numbers, sales. Before he grew his business a lot, but yeah, we know the story. It's very hard. Yeah, but it's life.
Yeah, Investors hate uncertainty, and he's in about the most uncertain situation you could be in right now. And so that
Yeah.
and for those investors that are okay with uncertainty, they ask for a lot
Mm-hmm.
in return for the risk that they're going to take. And so that's the sobering reality of where he's going to be looking, is the investors that are looking to do this are going to want a lot, and so he needs to have that understanding. But um, I am confident that there are investors out there for something like that, because there are people
Mm-hmm.
out there that would be interested in, if he has the numbers, then it's all a matter of, is somebody willing to take a gamble on things stabilizing at some
Mm-hmm.
point so he can get back to business.
Yeah, yeah, and I can tell what his positions in Ukraine. He occupied 95% of all charge batteries for electric cars in Ukraine, and Ukraine it's not small country, like 42 million people in Ukraine, and yeah, he got a lot of electric stations, chargers, and yeah, right now Putin made everything to lose this business. So yeah, it's life. Okay, let's go ahead. Uh, uh, what are your views on working on WordPress block integration? What do you think about WordPress?
What do I think about WordPress in general? It's okay. So our website is powered by WordPress, but we've wanted to move off WordPress for a while, right?
Mhm.
It's become a little bit bloated and can be a little bit slow to do. The last website that I launched, I did not launch on WordPress. I did it as a flat text-based website because speed was an issue for me. I wanted to make sure it was fast. That said, as far as being able to get something up and running quickly and easily, and something that everybody knows, it's a perfectly fine platform. You just need to
Mhm.
be careful from a security standpoint and from a speed standpoint. So I still like it. It's still kind of my go-to if I'm starting something up new and fresh. Be typically the first place I would go to see if I can do this in WordPress. But the flip side of it is that again, it can get bloated and slow and
Mhm.
inefficient pretty quickly. So just be careful with that.
I think it depends on optimization, For example, I know some websites, yeah, they load fast, they have no such problems, but it depends on content as well. Because if you have long content, with many images, so it's hard to optimize with many blocks on your website. But WordPress, yeah, I agree about safety, security, but it's better to optimize, to find good web developers who can handle the process. And for me, WordPress is much better than Wix, Shopify. I can't tell that these platforms are bad, but WordPress has open code and a bunch of plugins that we can optimize to create high quality content. So
Well, and I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. The trick is you have to be. I would not take just a theme out of a box and plugins out of the box and just keep installing them. You have to be
mhm,
intentional with it and know and understand that it needs to be optimized
mhm,
when you're building it. The only other area where I would again, it sounds like I'm negative on it. I'm not negative on WordPress, but the
mhm,
other area that I'd be careful with it is if you have an idea for a site for building out a new project. Sometimes it's very easy to just start and say, okay, well, I'll build this on WordPress without thinking, is this actually the best platform for me? It might
mhm.
be, and
Yeah.
for a lot of content, it is, but for other content, it's not, right? There might be a better platform, or maybe a custom built platform makes more sense in some cases. So just don't lock into the WordPress channel only. But for a lot of sites, a lot of content sites, if you're just looking to build content, sure, it's great with that, and being able to bring in other authors and stuff like that, it's great with that, and it can do obviously a lot of things as well.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, great point. Okay, let's talk about selling business. For example, if someone wanna sell his business online or her business, can you tell technical aspect, how to do it, how to find the best proposition, and where to search, which tools to use, anything about that?
Yeah, absolutely. How to get the best amount of money or the best proposition for your business? It starts with doing the preparation work, right?
Mhm.
So much money. Entrepreneurs and business owners leave so much money because they don't prepare their businesses for sale. My business partner often says, plan to sell your business, right? Actually plan to sell, don't decide to sell, plan to sell. And he's absolutely right. Give yourself 6 months to 12 months before you sell to really get yourself in the right position to make it really, really a clean, good, profitable transaction for you, and understand what makes a business valuable. I've already said some of the things that you should look at, right? Buyers want something that they can grow, and they want something that is going to be sustainable, right? So look at areas of possible risk with your business, and make sure that you have backup plans for those. And this is the hard part for us. We get used to the risk in our business. We see we take a look at it and we say, I'm not worried about this, or I'm not worried about that. Well, buyers from the outside will be worried about that, right? So you have to look at what other people might think about your business, and try and mitigate that risk. Okay, so let's talk about, let's say that you do the prep work, and I don't want to gloss over that and say, it's not important, spend too little time, but I also don't want to bore everyone watching with all the details there. When it comes time to actually selling a business, the things that you should focus on would be all the stuff that speaks towards what a buyer is going to get as far as a return on investment. So what does that mean? If you're already monetizing your business and making money from it, you should talk about that. You should talk about, here's what the business currently makes. Here's how much you're going to make from it. And here's how you can grow this, and here's how you can make it better. If your business currently doesn't make money, or if it's not profitable, you need to talk about how it's going to become profitable, right? Maybe YouTube was sold for a ton of money before it really made money at all, but they were able to speak to the idea that this is valuable. These views are valuable. This intellectual property is valuable, and you will be able to make money on this, which is why they were able to sell it. The more clearly you can show how you will make money from what you have, the more likely it is that somebody will buy it. Always just keep this in mind. No one buys your website or your business so that they can lose money. So answer that question first. How are they going to make more than what they're paying you, right? That's the first thing. Second of all, make sure that somebody else can run it. This is the biggest mistake that we see with content businesses, with SaaS businesses, is we build these businesses using our own skills and our own abilities, forgetting when we want to sell them that somebody else isn't us, right? So don't make yourself too valuable. I've had somebody come to me that says, I want to sell my business, and we get into the discussions, and they say, well, I am really good at SEO, and I really, I spent all this time optimizing this, and I personally built all these links, and all I can think of is, there's only one you, and you're really, really talented. Who else is going to do this? That can be difficult. So don't make yourself too valuable to the company, and think about how will this transition over. There's a lot of other things that you can do, but if you focus on those two things, one, speak to the buyer and let them know you're going to make more money than you're giving me on this, and show them how. And two, make sure that they can take over the business without the business having a big problem, and you'll be well on your way to being able to sell the business. As far as finding buyers, that's real quick. For every single seller of a good business, there are hundreds of buyers out there. When we put a new business up for sale, we're getting 300 people asking about that business right now. So finding buyers is not difficult. You could post on Facebook in different groups. You will have buyers coming to you. You can go to a marketplace like bizbuysell.com. You'll find buyers. You can just start telling a couple of people, and it will start to spread. You will find buyers. So I wouldn't worry about the buyers. They are looking actively for you. It's harder to flip that around and say, how do you find a good business for sale? Speak to the first two things: return on investment, and how are you going to be able to transfer this business? The buyers will come.
Nice, love it. Yeah, so valuable. Okay, I have the final question. Can you lead our audience in the right direction? How to learn more about selling businesses online? If someone wanna help others, to sell their businesses or buy businesses, what to learn? Lead them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've already given the pitch for the Exitpreneurs Playbook. Again, that's the
Mhm.
Exitpreneurs Playbook. I don't have monetary interest in it, but it is my business partner who wrote the book. I
Mhm.
will just say it really is everything that you need to know about selling a business. He was tired of having to tell people how to sell a business, so he decided to write a book, and so now he just sends the book to people for it. That'd be the first thing. Second of all, we do have a podcast I'd recommend listening to it. Is called the Quiet Light Podcast. And we talk quite a bit about some of those other things that we didn't get to get into today, right? We're just scratching the surface of this. Our website, quietlight.com, we have a lot of resources on that page to be able to help people do that. Finally, get involved in different online masterminds, groups, and start asking people there. There's a lot of people who have sold their businesses, sold their websites, and had some success, and will have some unique insights, things that maybe we don't pick up on with what we do, because we know our marketplace really well. But there's a lot of ways to be able to go about this industry. So if anybody ever has questions on this too, feel free to email me,
Mhm.
mark@quietlight.com. Happy to help in any way, to just answer questions or point people in the right direction. So yeah, that would be it. Start with the Exitpreneurs Playbook, and then head over to quietlight.com.
Okay, guys, you can find all links to Mark's social media profiles, website, to this book in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time, for your valuable insights. Yeah, it's a big pleasure to get you on my show. Welcome anytime back, and thanks, guys, for watching and listening us.